I want to show you a structure that, for me, has been very important in terms of making sense about where we tend to get stuck, particularly in caring behaviors. You know, we're all born infants. And as infants, we are totally dependent upon another person to take care of us. And so what happens with an infant when we didn't get what we wanted, or as a signal, is you scream. You scream. And that's what we all did as infants. And fortunately, infants are so adorable that we want to take care of them most of the time. And they smile, and they're cuddly, and they're cute, and we can cherish infants. And so, for an infant, if you would think of a motto, the motto of an infant, it is that I want what I want when I want it, and you're really just there to take care of me. And that makes sense for infants. For some of us, and I am not pointing any fingers, some of us in terms of intimacy relate to our intimate others as if you are the caretaker and I am the infant. And so some of us get stuck at the level of I want what I want when I want it, and you are just an object to meet my needs. That's the infant level. And what happens if by any chance we treat our intimate others that way is that love doesn't survive. Because as an adult, if you treat someone that way, I want what I want when I want it, and you're just an object to take care of me, then you are a tyrant. At that level, you're a tyrant. And we don't love tyrants. The relationship might survive, but pleasure doesn't survive, love doesn't survive. The next level of development, and I'm doing now the levels of emotional development, which go along with biological development, but they don't have to. You know, biologically, a child is the next level. And what happens with children is they have more power than infants. They can do more. But if children don't get what they want, because they're not able to negotiate or do the fair fight for change, they might do Vesuviuses or haircuts. But what happens with children is if they are upset, and all you have to do is think about how you dealt with things as a child when you were upset, children act out their feelings. Children sulk. Children pout. Children forget. Children don't produce for teachers they don't like. Anybody remember that? If you don't like the teacher, you don't learn. You don't do your homework. You make up things. Children can be very deceptive. I remember with one of my kids, my oldest, when she didn't like something that her brothers did, she broke their things. But if you ever asked her if she did it, she never did. Ever. And so with children, you are left to figure out what happened. If you don't happen to know the code, if you don't happen to be looking at the right time, if you didn't happen to listen at the right time, then you were in the dark as to what happened. You don't know what happened. If we are stuck that way as adults, if we are dealing with our intimate other at that level, then we act out our feelings, and the other one doesn't know what happened. Like, I don't know. I mean, how come you forgot my birthday? You know it's my birthday. I told you it's my birthday. How come, not even a card, nothing? And it's that you don't know that I'm getting even with you because you hurt my feelings about something. You didn't do something I wanted, so I'm not doing what you wanted. And what happens again is that love doesn't survive at that level. I don't want you to be confused with the idea that there are wonderful things about the infant and the child. I mean, there's spontaneity and there's excitement and there's energy. We're talking now about how you deal with things when you're upset. So the next level of behavior and development is the adolescent. And nature is preparing adolescents to leave home. That's the way it's supposed to be. You know, the bird is supposed to fly from the nest. And so nature is encouraging the adolescent to be independent. We all went through that. And how do you announce your independence? The adolescent, if somebody knows, what? You rebel. That's right, you rebel. That's called individuation. It's got a very fancy name. You rebel and you say in your rebellion, don't tell me. Don't tell me what to do. Because if you tell me, you're treating me like a child. And I am not a child. I'm bigger, older, more powerful than a child. And if you tell me and I do it, then I am a child. And I'm not a child. So whatever you tell me to do, I can't do. Which is why people hate to raise adolescents. And that's the way it is. One of my kids was particularly verbal, and when he turned 13, I was having guests, and I said, would you please make your bed? And he said, I could have done it if you hadn't told me. Of course, I don't think he would have done it if I hadn't told him either. He still would have done. Don't tell me what to do is really part of growth. It's part of our becoming individuals. It's part of feeling our own power. But if you happen to treat your beloved other that way, and I tell you what makes me feel good or what matters to me, and you hear it as I'm telling you what to do, and then you can't do it, then what happens to love? And so, love does not survive at that level either. Because that's the one where I tell you when it doesn't happen, I don't feel cared about. One of the knots on my laundry list, which we will get to, was a very eloquent one about a woman who said that she learned early that if I tell you what I want, I won't get it because you don't want to feel controlled. If I don't tell you what I want, there's a slim chance that you might think of it yourself and I might get it, so I never tell you what I want. After a while, I stopped telling myself what I want. What do I want? I don't know. I'm confused. So a lot of very peculiar things happen around there in the don't tell me. And so the only level at which love has a chance of surviving, and really the level at which we do the fair fight, is the adult level. And the adult level takes into account there are two of us. And it is called mutual concern. It's a capacity for empathy. It is asking how it is for the other and wanting to know. It is the ability to listen. And it is a willingness, a goodwill in nurturing the relationship. In saying, I really want to know what makes you feel cared about, and I will listen. I want to know. And I will tell you what makes me feel good. What's a turn on for me? I am happy when. I am happy when this happens. I am happy when that happens. I will tell you, and I will look to do what I can that is good for you, and I will assume that there is enough goodwill between us that you will do the same thing. And if things change, we will talk about it. You will not gunny sack. You will not collect grievances and go away. That is the only way we can sustain a good relationship. We will deal with upsets when they happen, and I will tell you, you will listen, and we will work out the best solution we can. And meanwhile, we will look to nurture the relationship.